Snitches get stitches.
Oh my gosh, I forgot the pasta. Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing another high protein, high fiber meal prep together because I am still on a mission to lose 200 pounds, and we are 93 pounds down so far. Some weeks are harder than others, especially when the mental health isn't mental healthing, and having some stuff prepped ahead of time definitely helps me to stay focused, and it keeps me from falling face first into a bucket of French fries during the week when I'm stressed after a day of work because I already have food ready, and that takes less energy than going through a drive-thru. So today is Sunday, and we're gonna do some meal prep to make my week easier. I'm gonna make some blueberry syrup to eat on my favorite high protein French toast and also on some chia pudding. I really enjoyed that last week, so we're gonna make it again. And then I'm gonna make a higher protein, higher fiber version of the viral lasagna soup that's different than anything you've probably seen before. It's different than anything I've seen or had before because, well, I'm just making it up. So that's what we gonna do. Cause when it's fall, apparently everyone likes to consume their food in liquid form. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it doesn't suck. So welcome back to Cooking with Chaos, starring me and my questionable time management skills. Let's do this. First things first, I have had my bread drying out since last night. I sat it out on a drying rack. You can just set it out on the counter if you want. This just helps the air get to it from both sides. If you don't want to leave your bread out overnight because, I don't know, you're one of those people that care about germs, you can just stick it in a low oven for several hours and it'll dry out that way. But this way, it's nice and dry. Oh. Gordon Ramsay would never, ever survive in my kitchen. He would grab 2 slices of those French toast and declare me an idiot sandwich in like 5 seconds flat. Anyway, get this nice and dry. Don't know if you can hear that, but it is light as a feather, stiff as a board. You want that good and dry. Oh man, the ADHD is strong today. You want that good and dry so that it will soak up all of that high protein custardy goodness. So that's a do ahead step that takes like 2 or 3 seconds. I'm not making a full recipe of my French toast because this is just the bread that I had left over from the sandwiches that I made last week, and I'm trying to use it up so that it doesn't go bad and I have to throw it out because I am a responsible adult. I can say that with a straight face. So we're just gonna leave that over there while we work on the blueberry stuff, syrup, things. Okay, blueberries. I just bought you. Here they are. I don't know why I'm checking in here. Nothing has changed, not a single thing. But apparently I needed to confirm that again. I have everything, okay. I'm gonna make some blueberry syrup. I'm just gonna use this on top of my French toast and also on my chia pudding. So I'm gonna start with a bag of wild blueberries, 10 ounces. I'm just gonna throw the whole thing in there, frozen. It's fine. I have this over a medium heat. Always put a little bit of salt in your sweet things. Words are hard. Salt brings out flavor, including sweetness. And then normally I would use a little bit of lemon juice in this, maybe even some lemon zest, but guess who forgot to put a lemon on the grocery list? So I had some lime juice in the fridge. I'm just gonna throw in a splash. Whoop. And a little bit of 0-calorie sweetener. I like monk fruit erythritol blends the best. This is to taste. These are a little on the sour side, so I'm gonna add probably a couple of tablespoons. I'll taste it again later and see if it needs anything, but it should be good. And then I'm gonna put a lid on that and let it go until it cooks down and thickens up. It'll be just fine. Normally I would put a little bit of chia in this, but we're already having chia pudding this week, and I'm going to show my microbiome a little mercy. My gut is not emotionally prepared for chia on chia crime this week. And once it starts boiling, I just go in with like a potato masher. I don't feel the need to have it super smooth. I'm okay with having some chunks in here. And then I'm gonna leave the lid on and let that simmer away so that it gets nice and thick. Okay, chia pudding, where am I? So while my blueberries are doing their thing and simmering down and getting nice and thick, I'm gonna put together my chia pudding. I swear these chia seeds judge me every time I pull them out. Yes, I ignored you for months. I'm using you now. I'm trying to be better, okay? Okay. Okay. Technically, we only need 3 ingredients for this recipe, but we like flavor around here, so we're gonna be extra, as usual. I'm gonna start with milk. Actually, no, I'm not gonna start with milk. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, guys. It really doesn't. I'm gonna turn on my scale. You guys know the deal. If you've been around here for very long, I use a scale because I'm lazy and I don't want to wash measuring implements. But if you want to measure, I will have all of the recipes that I'm using today, if I'm using a recipe, down in the description below. I have the physical measurements down below if you don't want to use a scale, but I highly recommend using a scale both for ease and also lays. Ah, crap, is it in my dishwasher? It is in my dishwasher. I have one in the sink. I just ran the dishwasher and all of my dishes are in the dishwasher and you guys are all set up in front of the dishwasher. I don't want to move things again. Anyway, we're gonna start with 3/4 cup or 170 grams of vanilla Greek yogurt of choice. I like the Oikos, and a little snack for me. Yes, I'm gonna put this back in there because I'm the only one eating it. Calm down. 3/4 cup or 170 mils of milk. I'm using the 2% high protein milk from Aldi. I'm gonna grab a little whisk just to get all the yogurt chunks out. I am also going to add some vanilla, a splash or 15, measure with your heart, a little bit of salt. Swirl that up. And then my sweetener, I'm just using Sweet and Low because it's quick and it's easy and I like it, and no, aspartame is not gonna kill you. Look at the research, it's fine. Get in there. And we're gonna use 6 tablespoons, which is 1/4 cup plus 2 tablespoons, or 72 grams of chia. Chia. I will never not say that. When I use chia, it's just a thing. 72 grams. Wow, that's a lot of chia. Mix it up. Last week I used my immersion blender to do this and I regretted my life choices. It made it a little too thick for me. Because I'm not blending this, I'm gonna let it sit out on my counter while it starts to hydrate. And then before I put it in the fridge, I'm gonna mix it up one more time just to make sure that all of that chia doesn't settle to the bottom and clump up on me. So my blueberry stuff is good and cooked down and I'm just gonna add it to this serving container? No, storage container. Let it cool before I stick it in the fridge. Why does this remind me of a perfume commercial? Introducing Eau de Blueberry. Oh, that's delicious. Sweet. We're gonna switch gears for a second. I need to get something started for the lasagna soup while I'm working on the French toast. So let me gather this stuff for that and I'll be right back. I'm gonna get started on the first part of my lasagna soup. This part is optional. This is what brings in the hidden veggies, if my husband asks. This is just soup with pasta in it. There are absolutely no hidden veggies. None. Snitches get stitches. We're just doing this to soften them up so that I can blend them completely smooth and they disappear. Okay. So we're gonna start with 4 cups of broth. I'm using bone broth. If you missed my 10 high protein swap videos, I talked about how this is like a hidden protein powerhouse in recipes. Check that video out after we're done with this one, of course. All right, and we're just gonna dump in all 4 cups of this. Your veggies of choice. I have 2 carrots and a yellow squash. I scrubbed them clean. I did not peel them because fiber. This is Kinder's the blend. It's mostly just salt, pepper, garlic, and onion. Just so that those have some seasoning in them. Totally optional, but I'm gonna add some MSG because it's delicious. Just a little. And then I'm gonna put the lid on that and cook it on high pressure for an hour. You can just do this in the soup and that's fine. I just want it to be good and soft. All right, let's throw together the custard for the French toast. This is another recipe that I have as a printable on my Buy Me a Coffee page. So if you're interested in supporting my content, they're $2 a piece for non-members. If you'd like to be a member and support, sorry, the pressure's coming up on the pressure cooker, so just ignore that noise. So if you want to support my content on a monthly basis, you would get all of those printables for free. So anytime I come out with a new recipe card, you can just print those out. They come in at 8.5 and 11 by 11 or a 4x6 version. Again, I will write the recipe down in the description as well if you don't want to get a printable. It's there if you like having a recipe book or recipe cards that are nice, that are printed out. Wow, that's loud. Are you going to actually seal at some point? Because that would be great. Please hold. I have to figure out what's going on with my pressure cooker. It's got to come back up to pressure. Who knows if I fixed it right or not. We're going to start with some egg whites, higher in protein than regular eggs. A lot easier to deal with too. 215 grams. That's 3/4 cup plus 2 tablespoons. 150 mils of milk, which is a 1/2 cup plus 2 tablespoons. Let's see if my pressure cooker actually seals this time. Maybe. It's not. There's something wrong. I'll be back, you guys. Third time's a charm, I hope. I think I figured it out. I think when I dropped it and I put it back together, I think I put the spring in the wrong place. So I'm hoping it's fixed now. I can't even remember where we were. I'm gonna splash in some vanilla. That's probably too much. Oh well. Can there ever be too much vanilla? And then 1/8 of a teaspoon each of salt and cinnamon. I'm probably gonna go a little shy on that. And then this is fully optional, but I like to add a little freshly ground nutmeg into my French toast. Do not go too far with this stuff. I recently learned that nutmeg is apparently poisonous. Like in small quantities, it's fine, but like apparently that's the thing. Oh, it smells like fall. Oh, well, I'm gonna throw that one away. Okay, so a little nutmeg. Little goes a long way. I only like it fresh ground. I buy the berries in the bulk section of my grocery store, like where all the herbs and stuff are, and whole berries will stay good for a very long time, but the pre-ground stuff goes bad real fast and the flavor is completely different. So whole ground if you can, it lasts a lot longer. The next thing is protein powder. This is the protein powder that I like to use for all baking, cooking. It's a whey casein blend. Whey only tends to make things very, very dry. Thank goodness it's sealed. It's a very expensive pressure cooker. Okay, so whey casein is your best bet. Now, my recipe calls, like for the non-weight portion, it's 2.5 scoops. The problem with that is every scoop for every protein powder is a different size. So I know I said if you don't want to use a scale, you don't have to, but I don't know how to give you a proper volume measurement for this because I've never measured it in volume. It's always just been grams. A scoop for this one, to give you an idea, is 31 grams. So I guess you can adjust accordingly if you use a different protein powder. The full recipe is 2.5 scoops, but it's 1.25 scoops for a half recipe, which is 39 grams of protein powder. All right, and you can just use a whisk for this, but I'm gonna use an immersion blender because I don't want any chunks of protein powders. Oh, I think I can put away my blueberries now. 698.3, 212.2 divided by 5. We're gonna say 40 grams. Tape. 40 grams. Put that in the fridge. I'm gonna get out this thing. Words are hard. Griddle. I'm gonna use my griddle to cook the French toast. Oh, you guys. Put a tiny bit of oil on here. And just brush it around. And then we're just gonna drop the toast in here and let it soak up that custard until it gets good and soggy. It's gonna soak up a lot. Like it will soak a ton. Like you can leave it in there for a while. I usually do this in a shallow dish so that I can put several in there at once. Spoon these on and encourage them to soak into that bread. And that's why you want this bread to be super dry, because you need it to soak in all of that custard. If it reaches a saturation point and it won't absorb anymore, we can just throw away what's left. All right, I think that's all I'm gonna get it to be able to take, but that's not much left. It's just a couple tablespoons. The custard that these are soaked in are quite sweet because of the protein powder, so just be forewarned. Usually if I don't make the blueberry syrup or the fruit syrup, I will do 1 or 2 tablespoons of the sugar-free Mrs. Butterworth's, and then I'll do like a half a tablespoon of light butter and melt that in the microwave, and I'll just dip them in that, and it's delicious. Aha! That's the one annoying thing about these griddles, they never cook evenly. Keep in mind that you're gonna be cooking these again, like heating these up again, so it's okay if they're a little bit undercooked at this stage. It's mandatory to spank anything you cook on a griddle. French toast, pancakes, hamburgers, grilled cheese. I don't make the rules. These smell and look delicious. This is me resisting to the urge to eat all of these right now. I am truly growing as a person. Clap for me. Oops. To let these cool down, I'm just gonna take them and put them on the same cooling rack I was using to dry the bread out. Then once they're totally cool, I'll put them in a container and put them away. I'm gonna clean up my mess. So let's start getting this soup pulled together. I'm gonna add a little bit of avocado oil. Oh, that's hot. I've had it preheating over medium heat, but it's been going for a while. So I'm gonna put in a whole onion. Oh, I really hope that doesn't set off my smoke alarm. Don't burn, little onions. Literally on medium heat, but you know. And then you can either do a pound of ground beef, or I still have a bunch of these sausages from Aldi. So this is 12 ounces of Italian chicken sausage that I'm gonna cut up into tiny little chunks. Dog, move out of my way. There's 1 sausage, 2 sausage. Yes, there is sausage on the floor, dog. Go ahead. Ouch. No, 115 pounds of dog does not feel good when it steps on your foot. Buddy, you're lucky, you're cute. The last of the sausage. And again, I feel like this would be more in line with the other lasagna soup recipes if you used ground beef or ground sausage or something like that, but this is what I had in my fridge, so I'm gonna use it up. The recipe called for a half a tablespoon of garlic, which is adorable. This is 4 very large cloves of garlic. Stir that in until it gets good and fragrant. A lot of good flavor on the bottom of that pan. This is what we call fond. I'm very fond of the fond. Let me wash my hands. Let's season this up. Half a teaspoon of salt. Half a teaspoon of red pepper flakes. Those are optional, but not in my house. A teaspoon of Italian seasoning, teaspoon of onion powder, and the recipe doesn't call for it, but I'm also gonna put a teaspoon of garlic powder in here, a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. I'm gonna stir that around. A lot of the flavor compounds in those spices are fat soluble, so you want to get them in the fat before you add the liquid. And then I'm gonna add in a 14.5 ounce can of petite diced tomatoes, not drained. And I'm gonna scrape that goodness off the bottom of the pan. Man, this smells good. And then a 24 ounce jar of marinara sauce of your choice. This is a tomato basil one from H-E-B that I really like, but you can use whatever you want, doesn't matter. And then I'm gonna splash a little water in here. It's just like a tablespoon or two of water. I'm gonna put a lid on this. I'm gonna blend that broth with a couple of secret ingredients. Please hold. One of the ingredients you will not be surprised about, cottage cheese. We're gonna blend it into the broth so that it gets really good and smooth. You won't have any of the curd texture left, but this will make it very nice and thick and creamy. To up the creaminess factor, while also upping the protein and the fiber, we're going to add in a can of blended Great Northern beans. You can do cannellini beans, but Great Northern beans have more fiber and more protein than the cannellini beans. The cannellini beans are a lot creamier, but I actually like Great Northern beans better. So I'm gonna drain these, and then we're gonna add these and a cup of cottage cheese to the broth, and we're going to blend it until it is totally smooth. Oh, this is, oh, come on. I just sprayed myself with cottage cheese guts. 228 grams. It's very liquidy. I'm not a fan of this brand. First time I've ever bought it, and I think it will be the last. Oh my gosh, it's on my foot. The whole can drained. I didn't bother rinsing it because I'm okay with having the extra starch. Looks like a latte. A really gross latte. Buttery. How is it buttery? There's no butter in there. Oh, I bet it was the beans. Now I'm gonna stir that up. Okay, and because I'm extra and I have it in my fridge, I am going to grab a Parmesan rind. So on the occasion that I get fancy and I buy real Parmigiano Reggiano, I always save the rinds and just kind of stick it in the soup. And I'm gonna leave this on simmer on the stove and just let it hang out. But this is done. It's finished. There's nothing else that needs to happen here. It just needs to be put away. Sorry, I don't know how long ago my microphone turned off, but I just realized that it wasn't on. So I sure hope you've been able to hear me this whole time. I'm just gonna leave it on low for like a good hour and a half, whatever. I mean, you could just take it off now, it'd be fine. I am very excited about eating that. I know that my nutritional goals say that a serving of this is a bowl, but my heart says the serving size is the whole pot. Both valid. Oh my gosh, I forgot the pasta. Y'all, I was just about ready to turn this off. No, we still need to put the lasagna noodles in there. I've made lasagna soup before, can you tell? This is the rest of the package. We only need 6 of these, just 6 lasagna noodles. This soup supposedly makes 6 servings, but I can tell you by looking at it that it's more like 8 or 10 for me. So in theory, that's 1 noodle per serving. So we're just gonna take these noodles and we're just gonna break them up into little pieces like that. They will swell, so you want them to be a little smaller than you think you'd like them to be. Ooh, flying pasta. And you could, if you didn't want to use the lasagna noodles, like I thought about just using ditalini or orzo in here, because I have those too, but I still have these sitting in my pantry and I need to use them. If you wanted to make this low carb and you didn't want to use low carb pasta, you could have just stopped there and it would have been one of the most insanely delicious tomato soups you've ever had. But I'm gonna sit here and hurt my fingers for the next 10-15 minutes breaking these up because fun. You could also cook the pasta separately and keep it separate if you didn't want it to bloat in the soup, but I don't care. You wanna be careful once you've gotten the cottage cheese in there that you don't let this boil too heavily though, because it will curdle because of the high protein content. Same thing with high protein milk. And then don't forget to take that Parmesan rind out because it's not delicious. Serve this with a little bit of ricotta or Cottage cheese on top with some fresh basil and a breadstick. That's what I'm gonna eat it with. Or grilled cheese, that would be good. Delicious. Okay, that's it for today. I have a little bit more cooking to do for dinners this week and of course my desserts, but this will make the week feel much more manageable, especially if my mental health takes a dip or life gets crazy like it is right now. All of these meals are high fiber, high protein, and they definitely are going to help make the week feel much more manageable for me. Okay, girl, be nice to me this week. I made soup. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today while I did some meal prep. And if you're on your own journey, remember, we're just doing our best out here, and that is enough. Make sure to like and subscribe so that you don't miss my weigh-in vlog this week, where I'm going to subject myself to trying another keto bread product. Pray for me. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.
I've been climbing this hill so long, every step feels like a fight. Sweat drips down, but I'm still here, chasing shadows in the light.